discuss Joe Biden. We're going to discuss Kamala Harris and other things the country could probably do without right now. But the bottom line is we'll have a blast, and I better see it.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
This election, would you say your mind is made up?
Yes.
And that is?
Trump.
Okay. Are you a previous Trump supporter?
The first year he won in 2016, I was not.
Did you vote for Hillary?
I did vote for Hillary, but I
Okay.
cried when she did not win.
Okay. Then what happened?
And then I just felt like he did a good job. I liked the fact that he was not a politician.
What were your thoughts? Donald Trump made a strong closing statement by saying, why didn't they do all the things that she's proposing during the 3.5 years that they've been in office?
He spoke facts. She just basically repeated everything that Biden has said in the past.
We are voting for the leader of our country and not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Thinking Logically. All aboard the Trump train. There is plenty of room. I'm your host, Joseph Anthony Corsi, and we have a jam-packed show for you today. Today, we're going to be talking about how paid journalists and news networks look into their stories and do their fact checks. First, how I, Joe Corsi, an unpaid amateur, looks into stories. We're also going to be discussing why on earth Joe Biden would put on a red MAGA hat at a Shanksville firehouse on 9/11. National Security Advisor John Kirby emailing veterans by accident to let them know how little he cares about their opinions. And the debate, of course, if you can call it that. Actually, no, you cannot. You cannot call it a debate. You cannot refer to that as a debate. It was not a debate. We'll be taking calls in the second half of the show if you want to give an opinion on what you saw, what you heard. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's introduce the crew. First, Pittsburgh Steelers superfan and host of the Two Dumb Yinzers podcast. It's our producer, Ryan Gerson. It's Ryan, how are you?
Hey, Joe, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great. Ryan, you were here working for the debate. You heard it.
I was, yes.
What were your just initial thoughts?
You know what? I was kind of confused because, again, I wasn't getting the visual being here at the station working. I thought that Kamala did a little bit better than I was expecting her to do. Again, this is all by here. And there was a couple times I thought Trump could have certainly attacked where he didn't. So I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say to get the thorough, full idea of what you guys saw.
Okay, and joining us via phone, Mark, did you fall asleep before Trump's closing remarks, or did you stay up for the entire thing?
Well, I'm here in mostly peaceful Allegheny County. The lanternfly invasion is underway here, Joe, and if
Mark,
in the words of Klaus Schwab, we will eat the bugs. But no, I watched the entire thing, Joe. So I'm anxious to get my opinions out there and talk this over with you guys.
I think you have to mute your mic, other mic, Mark. I was here to neck you, but if not, no worries. Okay, the debate. As Americans, maybe we needed to hear that. If you're Ryan, you should be used to it by now, though. ABC showed you they are not a legitimate news outlet. The way the moderators handled that debate was a travesty. There were numerous times where I felt physically ill, like I was literally going to throw up. The entire thing was a one-sided, air-filled, fact-checking debacle that the moderators used to hurt Trump and help Kamala Harris. And besides it being 3-on-1, Trump still had the stronger moments and the more memorable lines, like when he said he was going to mail her a MAGA hat. He was also far less scripted than Kamala Harris was. In fact, he was 0% scripted. Kamala didn't look like she prepared. She looked like she rehearsed this over and over again. We'll get to that later. Could Trump have handled certain moments better? Yes, absolutely. But respect how he just went into an impossible 3-on-1 situation and exposed to everyone watching how unfair and one-sided our media is, still is. And how far they'll go to get one candidate who I'll remind everyone, never got a primary vote, ever, forever. What they'll resort to get her elected. They don't care if it hurts the American people or not. You saw that by the quality of questions they chose to ask. Remember, Trump can't pick the questions. At the beginning of the debate, the moderator said the number one issue with voters is the economy and the cost of living in the country. They asked that one question about the economy, and that was it. Everything else was January 6th and abortion and other stuff from 4 years ago. And they fact-checked only one candidate. Incorrectly, mind you. And they let the other one not only lie, but they never even gave her a difficult follow-up or a follow-up at all. So 0 fact checks of Kamala Harris parlayed with 0 hard follow-ups to her responses. Does that make any sense? Is that what a debate monitor is supposed to do? Is that how they're supposed to act? Mark, we're going to get into some of the sound bites, but my favorite moment, or one of them at least, was whenever they brought up January 6th, and the moderator said something like, January 6th was a horrifying day in this country. Why didn't you call in the National Guard? And Trump said, I tried, but Nancy Pelosi has that power, and she refused them. And the moderator was like, literally was like, excuse me, the question was about you, not Nancy Pelosi. Next question. You're wrong and you're a liar. And then they turned to Kamala, and she said what seemed like a prepared statement. Mark, at what point did you realize this was a Vietnam War era ambush Trump walked into?
Would you fact check your sorority sister or fraternity brother, Joe? Probably not. As Lindsay Davis, is that her name? I don't even know her name.
Yeah.
Is with Kamala Harris. I knew it would be biased and one-sided, Joe, but I didn't think it would be that bad. I mean, early on, you could tell David Muir, I don't know how you say his last name. He's the host of ABC Nightly News. You'd think they would have some sort of credibility, but this was unbelievable how one-sided it was, especially with the fact-checking. And then did you see, Joe, there was something came out that Trump, quote-unquote, lied 33 times, and she only told one lie.
I did see that. I can't remember what network it was on, but yeah, I saw that. 33-1.
33 lies that Trump told as opposed to Kamala Harris's one lie. Okay, who's going to believe that? Joe, this is going to backfire on Kamala Harris. I mean, it is tough to say who won, quote unquote, or lost in that debate. I will say that Kamala Harris performed better than anyone probably thought she would perform. She obviously put a lot of time into preparing, and from what I read today, Trump also did prepare more than he did for the first debate against Biden. Although, it seemed like maybe he didn't prepare all that much, Joe, because I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, given all of he was going up against the 3-on-1, I think most people were disappointed in Trump not going for the kill shots when he had the opportunity to. And I don't say that literally, obviously. He could have went on offense more. He could have talked about, why didn't he ask Kamala Harris where she was on January 6th? She said she was at the Capitol. I think we have other information on that, where she really was. Why didn't Trump bring that up? I know you really wanted him to say that. He missed a lot of chances. He should have opened with how he closed. The closing statement was great. Why didn't you say that when you opened, President Trump? He took the bait a little too often, I feel like, from her. It seemed like she was getting under his skin a little bit, and he would take the bait, and he was like actually going on defense instead of playing offense with her. He had a chance to define Kamala Harris, and I don't think he did that. Why wouldn't he say that he was going to veto an abortion ban? Just say it. He said, well, it's not going to, I don't have to do that. Well, okay, then you just say you're going to do that then. You just say you're going to veto it, okay? It was a layup, a softball question for him, and he didn't do that. How do you not talk about your stance on abortion or the abortion issue with J.D. Vance? So I found that kind of odd. I thought it was a good performance by President Trump. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was his best performance. I mean, obviously, given the situation he was in, going up against the moderators as well. But anyone who could, unless you completely hate Donald Trump, you can see through what was going on Tuesday night and see that he was being attacked and being fact-checked, and she wasn't. I mean, why wasn't she fact-checked on the Charlottesville hoax that she perpetrated again? Why wasn't she fact-checked on Project 2025, which Donald Trump has disavowed multiple times now? He has nothing to do with this. You know, and you know, it was like ABC News. Actually, Joe, let's just bring it up now here. I just sent this to you, I think. Apparently, I saw this from multiple sources on X, but there's a whistleblower out there, Joe. Did you see this?
I did see it. I put it on at the end of the episode. We could talk about it now. I mean,
oh, okay, all right. If we're gonna talk about the end of the episode, then I will wait. We can wait to talk about that. But those are kind of my thoughts.
Whistleblowers are bad, though.
Good
remember,
debate.
Whistleblowers are bad in 2024.
Debate. What's that?
I said whistleblowers are bad in 2024. So.
Yeah, but so those are my thoughts, just in general, on how the whole thing went. He said today that he's not going to debate again. That was it. I don't know, Joe. Do you think he should debate again?
I think he should, but it needs to be fair this time, and it can't be. I wouldn't even know who you would pick. You can't say Tucker Carlson because he's obviously on one side. Is there anyone out there that is truly not partisan that we could trust to do it? I don't know. People say Joe Rogan, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea. Let's be real. I mean, I don't know. I'm all for more debates, though. But yes, to answer your question.
Yeah, he doesn't want. He said on Fox News the following morning that he doesn't want Brett Baier or Martha McCallum. He wanted Jesse Waters to debate or to moderate a debate on Fox News. So I guess that was it. I kind of figured that would be it in terms of the debate. So that might be the last debate. Well, probably would be the last debate we'll ever see Donald Trump take part in. So
let's not call it a debate, though, because it was more of a volleyball game than a debate. The moderators were serving Kamala up spikes just over and over again the entire time. Let's actually, we're going to get to we're going to do our own fact check, actually, the rest of this segment and into the next segment, actually. But you know what amazed me most about Kamala? She kind of knew everything out of the blue. No word salad, nothing like that. Out of the blue, she just knew everything and was answering questions before some of the questions were even done being answered. We'll get to that a little bit later. The moderators, another point, when he made the great point about war and it starting after Kamala was sent there, and what did the moderator ask Kamala? Have you ever met Vladimir Putin? And she replied, no, I told you that, and you're going to hear a lot of lies tonight. It's just, I don't know. Ryan, before we get to some of these fact checks, play the audio of the moderators letting Kamala get away with the January 6th National Guard thing.
I said, I'd like to give you 10,000 National Guard or soldiers. They rejected me. Nancy Pelosi rejected me. It was just 2 weeks ago. Her daughter has a tape of her saying she is fully responsible for what happened. I wasn't responsible for security. Nancy Pelosi was responsible. She didn't do her job.
The question was about you as president, not about former Speaker Pelosi.
I mean, it's her job. But all right, I had to get that out. Let's do our own fact check here, Mark. So Kamala says she was at the Capitol on January 6th. She was there in the morning. That she was not. First of all, she was there in the morning, but she left to go to the DNC headquarters prior to the riot, or whatever you want to call it. That critical information was omitted. There was no fact check, nothing at all. So on that, Kamala said that some police officers died on January 6th. That is absolutely false. It's been debunked numerous times. No fact check on that. Also, no one was bludgeoned to death with a fire extinguisher. Someone did commit suicide. A few police officers did commit suicide, but that was days and weeks after, which that by itself is slightly strange to me. Someone on X did a quick research trying to find a list of injured officers from January 6th. It turns out they were counted as irritated lungs, which could have been self-inflicted by their own pepper spray. They also counted 38 officers who got COVID after January 6th amongst the injured. So maybe that's where Kamala's facts are correct. I don't know. Mark, you could jump in whenever. Kamala says Trump incited a mob to attack the Capitol. False. Trump peacefully and patriotically said to go to the Capitol. The peacefully and patriotically part are always ignored by the media for some reason. Trump's also not charged with inciting violence or a riot. Where was the fact check on there? Where was the fact check on that? Mark, you'll like this one. When she recited the Charlottesville fine people hoax. Ryan, get this audio ready. This has been thoroughly and repeatedly debunked. There was no fact check. And again, I could read you the fact checks, but why? Just play the audio of that one, Ryan.
Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
Mark, you'll love this. She has the nerve to talk about anti-Semitism. What happened at our Capitol and at college campuses not too long ago? What kind of protests were there, Mark? Do people forget already? Did we not do 30 episodes on this?
Well, this is from Snopes. Fact check. No, Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. Snopes posted this.
Snopes.
Context. In a news conference after the rally, protesting the planned removal of a Confederate statue, Trump did say there were very fine people on both sides, referring to the protesters and the counter-protesters. He said in the same statement he wasn't talking about the neo-Nazis and white nationalists, who he said should be condemned totally.
So in the same statement, he said he wasn't talking about that, but the media said that he was talking about that in the same statement. They just ignore it. This is
correct.
This is amazing.
And they continue to perpetrate it.
Do you see why you can't have a debate when you only fact check one party and you let the other one just lie with impunity on her miniature podium that she had requested? All right. Kamala recites the bloodbath hoax. Okay. Ryan, play the bloodbath audio, please.
Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking.
Listen, you dumb idiot. Trump was talking about the automobile industry, not violence. Where was the fact check on that? Bloodbath. If Trump doesn't win election, that's a lie. He said bloodbath for the auto industry if Biden is reelected. And that was before the coup on Biden and him being replaced by Kamala. At least that coup was bloodless. It wasn't a bloodbath. Right, Mark?
I can't believe they didn't. David Muir and Lindsey Davis didn't step in and say, all right, he was not talking about that.
Why would they?
I mean, come on, have some respect.
Why would they? Would you do it to any of your college buddies? No. You let them win the argument. You can, right? I mean, that's what friends do. All right. She claimed she was never against fracking. She was. She's quoted as saying, there is no question I am in favor of a ban on fracking. She said it numerous times. We just don't have the time. I mean, we don't have the time to play all these audio clips of her from 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago saying all these things. Anything on fracking before we move to, for some reason, it's a topic, abortion.
No, about fracking, though, I mean, how big of an issue is it in PA, do you think, though, Joe? I mean, maybe in the rural areas that are already going to vote for Trump. But I think to most people here in Pennsylvania, it is kind of neat, Joe, that pretty much everything rides on the state we live in right now, But I don't think fracking is that big of an issue here in Pennsylvania. But
not as big as it should be.
Right. I mean, it is a large part of the economy, in Western PA and some other parts of the state. But I don't think it's going to move the needle a whole lot, unless you work in that industry.
Yeah. But again, it's just jobs that we could desperately need.
But again, she contradicts. Yeah, she lies.
Yeah. Let's just not forget the point that Kamala is just flip-flopping around like a fish and lying.
Right.
All right. States don't kill babies that survive third trimester abortion. I can't remember if that was the exact quote. They do. 6 states have no defined limit on abortion. Ralph Northam confirmed this. Ryan, play the audio of... I'm going to play the audio of what would happen if a baby was born during a failed abortion. This is, Ralph Northam, his audio. Spoiler alert, they kill the baby in the end.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion.
The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother.
Ryan, a baby is born by accident. It was supposed to be aborted, but it is born. The physician then talks to the mother about killing the baby. Is that not a baby that survived past the third trimester abortion?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this is a baby, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a clump of cells. I mean, if so, then I'm a clump of cells. You're a clump of cells. We're all a clump of cells, I guess, then. And also, under Governor Tim Walz, babies born alive in botched abortions, just like we're talking about, were left to die. And then he, as governor, removed the reporting requirements on that stuff. Sorry, it's just these people are sick. These people are absolutely sick. Mark, do you want to get the guns, or do you want to? You could jump in whenever, man.
No, keep going. This is great.
All right, Kamala won't confiscate guns. That's a just triple lie, triple X's across the board. She has stated she will implement, by way of executive action, mind you, mandatory buybacks, gun confiscation, if Congress doesn't act within her first 100 days of office. In fact, the last time Kamala ran for president, she told the same exact guy, David Muir, that she would use the executive orders for it. That was the guy she told. Ryan, play that audio.
And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away.
What would you do about the assault weapons that are already in circulation?
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Do you believe in the mandatory buyback of quote-unquote assault weapons?
Great question. I do believe that we need to do buybacks. I'm also prepared to say and to direct the ATF to remove and take away the licenses of gun dealers. I support buybacks, and assault weapons have been designed to kill a lot of human beings.
Again, there are more clips I can play, way more, but we only have an hour. The moderators had to have heard all these. You want to know why? Because the one guy was in the room when she said it, because she said it to him. Oh, my Lord. These people need to be fired immediately and never allowed back on television again, ever. Ever. Mark?
Well, I told you. I said if Trump wins, I hope they ban ABC from the White House press briefing room. I mean, they should be banned from the White House if Trump wins.
It's a good point.
This is a travesty to journalism, actually.
Yeah, and they get, like I said, people getting paid 6-7 digits. All right, we're gonna do one more fact check, lie debunk, and then we're gonna take a commercial break. We've been covering the debate and fact checking ourselves. The debate, because ABC, CNN, they won't do it. They want to tell you the score is 33-1. All right, trans surgeries on illegal immigrants. Kamala basically said it was QAnon nonsense. Well, what if I told you, audience, in 2019, Kamala Harris told the ACLU that she supports this policy? I'm quoting her. I support policies ensuring that federal prisoners and detainees are able to obtain medically necessary care for gender transition, including surgical care, while incarcerated or detained. This is on a 2019 ACLU questionnaire. Again, she supported taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained illegal immigrants. Time magazine, Mark, had to issue a correction. I'll read it to you. The original version of this story mischaracterized as false Donald Trump statement accusing Kamala Harris of supporting, quote, transgender operations on illegal aliens in prison. As a presidential candidate in 2019, Harris filled out a questionnaire saying she had supported taxpayer-funded gender transition treatment for detained immigrants. My head's gonna explode.
Why do you want to transition if you're a illegal migrant?
Because they already know who you are. You got to change your identity again if you want to sneak back.
That's a good point.
It's a great point, and we're going to have many more points when we return. You're listening to Thinking Logical on 99.3 FM WBV. When we come back, we're going to talk about the pet story that Trump said. People are literally eating pets. Is it true? Is it not true? I don't know. Stay tuned. You're listening to Thinking Logical on 99.3 FM WBVP.
Tune in to Driving in the Fast Lane with Frank Sparks on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Frank will talk about what's happening in the news, locally, regionally, and nationally. There's also music to get you started for the day, and Curtis Walsh will have the news. The show is brought to you by Patriot Home Care, so set your radio dial to 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. We're streamed live on BeaverCountyRadio.com, so you can listen every morning on Beaver County Radio.
Hey guys, it's Joe from Thinking Logically here to tell you about a company I've been using since I got my learner's permit. Grossi & Associates. Using their state-of-the-art equipment, Grossi & Associates offers collision repair for all makes and models, both foreign and domestic. There's a reason why they are voted Best of the Valley year in and year out. They are the collision experts. Grossi & Associates. Call today for a free estimate.
It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Gullah with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Gullah of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond.
You know, when Joe Biden shuffles in front of the cameras to answer scripted questions during the day, he lies like Don King. But what you don't know is, when he goes to sleep at night, he lies like an Egyptian king because he uses MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable. Use the promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings on this amazing product.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP, brought to you by So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing. Whether you need your house washed, driveway clean, patio done, fences, gutters, you name it, call Dave from So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing at 724-252-4489. That's 724-252-4489. They're fully insured and offer free estimates. So what are you waiting for? Don't be the outcast in your neighborhood with a dirty house or deck. Call So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing today. All right, before the break, we were talking about the debate and how awful, absolutely awful the moderators were and how they did zero fact checks on Kamala and just let her run wild. This is where the true election interference lies. It lies in these lies that are allowed to be lied about. They were not allowed to let happen to Kamala Harris what happened to Joe Biden. It is what it is. But Mark, the pet thing came up again. The Haitian pet story, it was spreading all over TikTok. It was spreading all over city meetings. And then Donald Trump, I think he said people are eating your pets at the debate.
It's happening in Italy too. I sent you that, Joe.
Yeah.
As well.
Go ahead, and then I have...
No, I was just going to say, this is part of that Streisand effect. People see this, and then they're probably trying to follow up and maybe curious as to actually, is this really happening or not in Springfield, Ohio? Mike DeWine has directed, the governor of Ohio has directed $2 million worth of assistance because these people are taking over Springfield, Ohio. And I saw a video today. A woman posted a video saying her dad came here from Haiti. And this is actually part of their culture. This is part of that voodoo culture, number one. And number two, I don't know, people are starving in Springfield, Ohio, but, she said it could be because, they're used to doing that in Haiti for food. I mean, Haiti is the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. But she did say, this video I watched, that Haiti has a voodoo culture, and that is part of it.
Remember, they could be eating zero cats and dogs and geese and gooses and ducks. They still shouldn't be here. All right, ABC immediately debunked the whole thing and said, we called the city manager and he said that's not happening about the pets. Okay, I guess that's it. That's enough investigative journalism. We can pack it up, Mark. That's it. ABC called the city manager. Why the hell would you call the city manager? Did they contact animal control? Why would the city manager be the first to contact? You think the city manager will even admit this is happening? No. Why would he? Why'd they word it so weird too? No illegal eating of geese. But Mark, this is where it got. I don't know if it's funny or real, but I think it's the Attorney General David Yost. There's a recorded police call from a witness who saw immigrants capturing geese for food in Springfield. Citizens then testified to the city council. These people will be competent witnesses in court. Why does the media find a carefully worded City Hall press release better evidence? It's a good point. He must be a lawyer. Mark, why? Why don't they believe us? Why don't they believe the people at City Hall?
Like Donald Trump said, he's like, I saw videos of the people doing this. So it's like, when you tell a liberal something, Joe, I don't even want to say Democrat because I think there are some reasonable Democrats out there. When you tell a liberal something like this, you could show them proof and they'll say, nah, that's not true. We have videos here, people in Springfield, Ohio doing this.
Listen to this tweet from Defiant Els. It's a tweet by Jim Acosta. It said, still a bit dumbfounded that Trump was ranting about people eating pets, and I've been covering him for a while. Oreo Express responded, "Yeah, I know. He was stupid enough to rant about a laptop from hell that was just Russian disinformation. He was also dumb enough to say if Biden and Harris got into the White House, they would open the border. Trump just lies."
Yep. And he's being proven right after all of these things that now 2 days after the debate.
Did you see? Talk about we talked about Dick Cheney going for Kamala and maybe Mitt Romney too. Did you see what Marianne Williamson tweeted out?
Yes.
She said, continuing to dump on Trump because of the eating cats issue will create blowback on November 5th. Haitian voodoo is in fact real. And to dismiss the story out of hand rather than listen to the citizens of Springfield, Ohio, confirms in the minds of many voters the stereotype of Democrats as smug elite jerks who think they're too smart to listen to anyone outside their own silo.
See?
We did it. We just did it, Mark. We just did this with COVID. Nobody is eating your pets might be the new it's safe and effective. Next, they're going to say 51 intel officials even admit the Haitians aren't eating birds in a park. It's all poultry misinformation or something. They didn't
Wait, what about the viral video, Joe, that's going around TikTok?
He didn't.
The cats. They're eating the cats.
No, that one, and there's a guy holding a duck. That guy, he didn't eat the goose. He was just taking a gander at it.
Well, Mike, are you?
Whoa! Tough crowd. Yeah.
Are we talking about the same thing, Joe? Because I don't know if you saw this video. This has gone viral. Have you seen this?
Is it the woman eating the cat in the driveway?
No, it's a viral. They made a song. They made a song out of Trump saying this.
No, I did not.
It's gone viral on TikTok. They've made this rap techno song. And now all these people are posting this video on TikTok of Trump's voice going, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets. and Mike Benz basically tweeted it out and said, like it or not, this is how we win.
It might be how you win. If I'm telling you elections, if it comes out that one cat was literally eaten by a Haitian immigrant or even just killed, now keep in mind, an 11-year-old boy was killed by a Haitian immigrant. No one seems to really care about that anymore. But if it comes out that this is true, that they are eating pets, it's over. Because I hate to say this, there's a lot of people out there that care more about dogs and cats than people. It's true. But if it finds out that Haitian immigrants are literally eating cats and dogs and killing them and eating them, election's over. And they just ignored this and wrote it off as baseless conspiracy theories again, as if they're not 0-700 in this realm. All right. Anything else about the pets being eaten, not being eaten? We don't know. Again, we talked to a city manager. That's enough for ABC. That's the fact check. Let's talk about the sorority sister stuff here, Mark. So Trump was on Fox the next morning talking about Kamala and the debate question, and he said she seemed very familiar with him. Now, people are already calling Trump a conspiracy theorist. Michael M., I think it's Jarbaum of the New York Times is one of those at least. He said Trump veered into a conspiracy theory that Harris was given debate questions by ABC ahead of time. And then he has in parentheses, she wasn't. Someone please tell Michael Jarbaum that Trump is allowed to say that and it shouldn't be just dismissed as conspiracy theory. Why, you ask? Because ABC News employs Donna Brazile, who did, in fact, leak debate questions to Hillary Clinton's campaign as a contributor. Remember Donna Brazile? Remember her? She faced zero consequences after all that was revealed by WikiLeaks in a WikiLeaks dump. Oh, wow. Geez. Maybe this time it was the other way around then. Maybe ABC received the debate questions from Kamala's handlers. Don't forget, Mark, you brought this up earlier. Kamala's bestie, Dana Walden, she oversees ABC and her role with Disney, and also Lindsay Davis. And Ryan, you have the audio queued up, who ABC chose to be the moderator for this debate, is a sorority sister of Kamala Harris. She even introduced Kamala to Doug Emhoff, her husband. Total conflict of interest. How do they think the people will not figure this out? Maybe they just think we won't care. Ryan, play the audio of her on January 20th, 2021.
Robin Roberts is right. It's a sorority thing. I don't understand it all. So you have to explain it to everybody. You're a sorority sister of Kamala Harris.
Right. Well, pearls are a symbol of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which she pledged while she was at Howard University. And the strand of pearls is symbolic.
Mark, pearls, we'll get to that later, but it's amazing.
Well, I have some breaking news here, Joe, from Patrick Webb on X. Breaking, former Clinton advisor Mark Penn has called for an internal investigation to be launched into whether the outcome of the ABC presidential debate was rigged.
Really? Interesting times. Interesting times. And this is 48 hours later. 48 hours
Now we have
later.
Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman is now even retweeting about this ABC whistleblower. Allegedly will release an affidavit claiming the Harris campaign was given sample questions that were given during the, essentially the same questions that were given during the debate, as well as assurances that Trump would be fact-checked and she would not. I know we'll get into that, but Bill Ackman is now even retweeting this on X.
Again, Trump's never had an honest interview. Remember when Trump was being interviewed by Leslie Stahl and he brought up the Hunter Biden laptop and she said there's no proof that's true? It's Russian disinformation? They've been lying since before this. Again, we could pick apart all day how bad the moderators were. As soon as he was about to finish a great point, they cut him off. Meanwhile, they never pushed back on Kamala for 2 hours. Kamala says
like
she's...
when he got shot in the head?
Yeah. I mean, we can bring out... There's so much stuff. We'll never get through it all. We'll never get through it all, ever. Kamala says she's for fracking? Well, why didn't the moderator said, hey, we have you on video in 2019 saying you would ban fracking. What's all that about? Same thing with gun control. We have you on video saying you'd impose a mandatory buyback. Mark, maybe there was a conflict of interest at minimum here with her sorority sister. What do you think?
I mean, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, I don't think they went to college together, but I think they were in the same sorority, which makes them sorority sisters, but regardless.
Did you see when Lindsay Davis, she asked Vice President Harris if she would succeed in bringing the war in Gaza to an end, where President Joe Biden failed? She totally evaded the question. She simply just started repeating Joe Biden's policy that she would pursue a ceasefire and a hostage deal and we'll try to achieve a two-state solution. She's just going back to what Biden said he would do. And was that successful? No. Remember the last time they were close to a ceasefire? American hostages wound up being shot in the back of the head. They've had nearly a year to do something about this. She's had all this time and nothing was done. Hey, Kamala, everything you just said, show us you will do it. Show us how. Close the border. Get at least a ceasefire in the Middle East. Start freaking fracking. Anything. Whatever you are going to do, Kamala, start doing it now. Start doing it now, Mark.
Yeah. No, these are all good points, Joe. What did you make of her facial expressions and her,
like
when
she
Trump was speaking?
like she was being coached. It was all orchestrated. She was told how to have her face, how to do everything. I'm telling you, that was orchestrated. She had the questions. She probably ordered the questions and how everything else is going to go. It was probably completely scripted.
Yeah, I think for her, it was a bad look when she put her hand on her chin and then rested her other arm on her other arm. And it was just a bad look for her. And I think that just turns people off. I can't say what we want to say on radio right now, but, it just doesn't come off the right way when you do things like that.
No, it does not. We're going to take another break, though. When we come back, we're still going to be talking about the debate, but also we're going to be talking about why on earth Joe Biden donned a red MAGA hat in Shanksville. I don't know. I have no words for this, but it was the coolest he's looked this 2024 campaign cycle. I don't know. Stay tuned. You're listening to Think Logic on 99.3 FM WBVP.
Your home for everything in Beaver County. 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, coming to you live from the all-new Fry Transportation Studios.
The warm weather is back, and that can only mean one thing. Pirates baseball for a 76th season is on Beaver County Radio. Make sure you set your radio dial to WBVP and 99.3 FM. Pirate baseball is being presented locally by the St. Barnabas Health System, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, Keystone Wellness Program, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Town Square Restaurant, and Beaver County Radio.
Cash for your house. PGHbuyers.com. If you have an unwanted house but don't want the hassle of selling, visit PGHbuyers.com to see if PGHbuyers.com can help. No inspections and a fair cash offer. Visit PGHbuyers.com to sell that unwanted property for a fair price today.
Hey guys, it's Joe from Thinking Logically here to tell you about a company I've been using since I got my learner's permit. Grossi & Associates. Using their state-of-the-art equipment, Grossi & Associates offers collision repair for all makes and models, both foreign and domestic. There's a reason why they are voted Best of the Valley year in and year out. They are the collision experts. Grossi & Associates. Call today for a free estimate.
You know, when Joe Biden shuffles in front of the cameras to answer scripted questions during the day, he lies like Don King. But what you don't know is, when he goes to sleep at night, he lies like an Egyptian king because he uses MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable. Use the promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings on this amazing product.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Think Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. We were talking about the debate. The moderators, they were all in for Kamala. Did she have maybe some of the questions in advance? Did she know what was going to happen? We're talking about that too. If you want to call the number 724-774-1888 or 843-1888. Kamala went off script very little, but when she did, she was terrible. She made a comment, Mark, remember this, Trump owned land, as if this is like an election in the 1800s and owning land was an issue or an important thing in the election. They also said, what are your thoughts on Israel and Hamas? She said, this war must end. No crap. All these things happened in the last 3 years. Before that, we had Trump bring in the Abraham Accords. Remember? I mean, now Kamala went after him for negotiating with Afghanistan. Kamala and Biden gave the Taliban an AP top 25 Air Force. I mean, come on. They might be able to beat Bama.
What about his exchange there talking about Abdul from the Taliban?
I like that because he puts you in the room with him. He tells you what he's thinking when he's talking to world leaders. And honestly, I like how he does that. He said, your family will die if you kill American soldiers. That's who I want leading the country. Hell yeah. Give me that guy. I don't care if he tweets mean. That's what I want. That's how you protect people. What did this administration do? They drone striked her with airstruck a family, a translating family. 7 kids were killed. No one resigned. No one was held responsible for that. Sickening. I still will not get over how he never asked about that pipe bomb. He was shot in the face and she walked past the pipe bomb. Why is she not mentioning it?
Why didn't he say it?
Why? She brought up January 6th. Bring up the fact you walked past a pipe bomb. She brings up January 6th all the time, but never mentions it when she talks about January 6th. I don't know. One question on the economy, then 54 freaking minutes, or however long it was. One question on the economy. And then Kamala just stood up there and offered people like $40,000. $25,000 for your house, this for that. If you're this race, you get this. If you only make this much money, you could have this much money. It's the dumbest. And then the IVF. The moderator couldn't have said, can you name one instance where Trump has said he's against IVF? I mean, it's sickening. All right, Mark, there is no third debate, though. Good thing or bad thing?
Oh, man, I don't know. It depends on how you look at how you think Trump did. I mean, or maybe where he stands in the polls. I don't know. I would like to see another one, to be honest with you. I think he left a lot on the table out there.
I think,
if this was a football game, I think he didn't open the playbook, Joe, if you ask me. But I would love to see another one. I just think he could do better. And I don't think she will do – that was her high watermark, and I don't think she would do that well again.
Yeah, I don't know. It would depend on who the moderator is. I want to see another debate. I just want to read this from a tweet from Unseen One on X. I'll just read the end of it. Trump showed leadership and courage by doing the ABC debate, just like he showed it when he stepped across the DMZ or he went to Saudi Arabia and told the Muslim world they would have to stop funding terror. Compared to that, going on ABC and debating 3 against 1 is child play. The fact Harris can't even do that tells you she is a weak person who should never be given power. Good point.
Yeah.
So this whistleblower, okay. Now this is from someone on X. We don't know anything about it yet. So ABC whistleblower says he's going to reveal the Harris campaign was given sample questions that were essentially the same questions that were given during the debate. And the reports also indicate they were provided separate assurances Trump would be fact-checked and Harris would not be fact-checked. That seems like it seems like a pretty exactly how it went down, is it not?
It sounds like.
Which conspiracy do you like better, this one or the earrings?
Oh boy!
Did you hear about that?
I would think that would be a little bit more believable than the earrings, but the earring thing is, I mean, people. If you talk about this, people just think you're just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so far-fetched that this can't be true. But I wouldn't rule it out. She was so coherent in this debate. This was miles better than any time she's ever debated ever before. So I wouldn't rule it out.
I'm not going to rule out either. And the reason I'm not, remember we played the clip of her sorority sister? Didn't she say something about pearls in that audio clip we played from when she was talking on January 20th, 2021? And these earrings are pearl earrings. I don't know. I'm just saying, is it probable? I don't know. It's possible though. Don't say it's not possible after everything we've seen the last, 4 years become real.
Definitely possible.
What are they called? The Nova H1 audio earrings. Are they for sure real? And they look like they're pearl, and they do look like, Ryan, can you see this or no? They look like they're the exact same earring.
Yeah, no, I was looking at these pictures before, and they certainly look like the same sort of earring. They're very similar.
It could be QAnon nonsense. Again, she seems so sharp. We have to admit, she had the help of the fact checkers. It was 3-on-1. But you take all that away, she couldn't stand for, because, again, it was very hard to debate from her position wherever everything she's done the past 3.5 years, the administration's been wrong. There's no points for her to even stand on. But she almost knew the questions ahead of time, it seemed. It seemed like as if she almost like, she started talking before the question was even like done, like being on Jeopardy. Like, but I don't know. That's just the way I see it. Maybe I'm crazy. I've been told I'm crazy before. So.
I think the only thing that I will say that Trump had an advantage on with this debate is the fact that they allowed him to respond, I think, more than they probably did her, if anything. Maybe that was by design. Maybe they let him speak on purpose.
Yeah, because what's she going to say? What point is she going to possibly make?
Well, maybe they thought if he would speak like that, he would inflict some damage to himself if he kept talking. But I think he definitely had more speaking minutes than she did, from what I saw.
All right. What time is it? Do we want to dive into MAGA Biden, or do we want to take a break first and just finish? Let's take one more commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into MAGA hat Biden. He literally put the MAGA hat on to cheers and applause whenever he put that on. We're going to play the audio for you when we come back here to Thinking Logically on 99.3 FM WBVP.
It's time to wake up Beaver Valley with Pastor David Grove from the Church of the Redeemed of Beaver Valley. Tune in to Beaver County Radio this and every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. It's time to wake up and turn our hearts back to Jesus Christ. So wake up early this Saturday and tune in to Wake Up Beaver Valley from 9 until 10 a.m. right here on Beaver County Radio.
You know, when Joe Biden shuffles in front of the cameras to answer scripted questions during the day, he lies like Don King. But what you don't know is, when he goes to sleep at night, he lies like an Egyptian king because he uses MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable. Use the promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings on this amazing product. Cash for your house. PGHbuyers.com. If you have an unwanted house but don't want the hassle of selling, visit PGHbuyers.com to see if PGHbuyers.com can help. No inspections and a fair cash offer. Visit PGHbuyers.com to sell that unwanted property for a fair price today.
Hey guys, it's Joe from Thinking Logically here to tell you about a company I've been using since I got my learner's permit. Grossi and Associates. Using their state-of-the-art equipment, Grossi and Associates offers collision repair for all makes and models, both foreign and domestic. There's a reason why they are voted best of the Valley year in and year out. They are the collision experts. Grossi and Associates. Call today for a free estimate.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. We spent the whole episode talking about how terrible the debate was and how terrible the moderator was and just how nothing got fact-checked on one side. Now, MAGA Biden. So yesterday, firefighters in Shanksville, Pennsylvania convinced Joe Biden, who, remember, is still the president and alive, to wear a 2024 Trump hat.
We have this audio. Please tell me.
We have the audio, but the best is the guy saying, "I'm proud of you, you old fart." And this is like an 80-year-old guy standing next to Biden. Just play the audio, Ryan, and maybe we could walk our audience through it.
Go, man. I need that hat. Want my autograph? Hell no. You got my name. Come on. I ain't going that far.
He's placing the hat on his head. It's on his head. So this older man, this older gentleman is wearing a Trump hat, and Biden has his presidential hat. And he says, "How about if I sign my presidential hat and then you give me your Trump hat?" So the man in the Trump hat didn't take off his hat and say, "Hey, Joe, wear this hat." Joe Biden looked him in the eye and said, "I need that hat," and gave away his hat with his signature, put on the Trump 2024 hat, and smiled for the cameras. That is a direct smack to Kamala's face. And remember whenever Donald Trump said that he hates Kamala? Joe Biden hates Kamala? This happened the next day. Maybe he's right about everything. I don't know. But Joe Biden should never be wearing a Trump 2024 hat this year.
What was his quote in the debate? He hates her.
He hates her.
Joe, this was the high watermark for me for the Biden administration. Biden actually seemed like a kind of funny in this exchange.
Hold on 1 second. I think we have a caller. Who is it? Dawn? Dawn, you got about a minute or two before the end of the episode. What's up? What did you think?
Oh, my. I listened to the whole so-called debate. First of all, we've got to quit calling it a debate. It was a farce. Capital F-A-R-C-E. I hope I spelled it right. That's all it was. It was a joke. That woman was all jacked up on something. You know, I just read a book on Connie Hawkins, the great basketball player from the 60s, and he said he was tired one game, and it said a guy gave him a pep pill. She did nothing for 6 days but memorize those questions, sir.
Now, do you think she memorized the questions or the whole cadence of how everything went? They gave it all to her. And
everything was scripted. That's all she did. The whole 6 days she was sequestered.
Rehearsed,
so
not prepared.
We know that Joe Biden's not running the country. That is now an axiom. We know that she was sequestered for 6 days. You know, do you ever see the movie with Chevy Chase when he falls asleep driving and the car is still on the road for a while?
Yes. National Lampoon's
Who's
Vacation.
running our country?
It's on autopilot, which might be better.
I say send the whole government home, every one of them except for essential services, police, firemen, etc., and let's see how we get along without them.
We'll be fine. We could lose 60% of our government employees, government workers, and we'd be fine. We wouldn't even blink. Don't let them scare you.
Exactly. Take care.
Thank you, Don.
Yep. Joe, what did you think of the exchange yesterday between Kamala at the World Trade Center Memorial?
I mean, that's how politics used to be. before 2016, shake hands, and then
they seem cordial.
Yeah, they did. What's weird is that was
told her she did a good job.
Yeah, what are you supposed to say? You stink. You stink.
She said thank you.
You
and then
sucked.
he kind of like pulled her in a little bit too.
Oh, he didn't give her the Trump handshake. He would have ripped that hand out of arm out of socket. All right, you wanted to get to the views on the closing statement. I actually had to watch the closing statement at 1 a.m. because I did fall asleep. I think everyone fell asleep. Trump just outpaced us. We're on Biden time here, Joe Biden time. But I had to watch it at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I thought that was the best part.
Yeah. So this is from on X. ABC posted Kamala Harris's closing statement and President Trump's closing statement on TikTok. Here are the numbers. This is from 4 hours ago. Kamala Harris, 4 million views, 200,000 likes. Trump, 18 million views, 1.4 million likes. Take that for what it's worth. That's on TikTok. And then again, those are the closing statement numbers that that are out there. So,
all right. We're getting to we got about 4 minutes left. We didn't cover anything on 9/11. Joe Biden showed up at the 9/11 memorial. Did you see the one family call out Joe Biden because the day before he said, they asked him, "What are you doing tomorrow, Joe? What's on your schedule?" He said, on Thursday I'm going to do 9/11. And then did you see the couple called him out at the memorial on Thursday yesterday? Ryan, play that audio of the couple at 9/11.
The elected officials here today show their respect and reverence to the families on September 11th. Or, in our president's words, do 9/11. Quite a flippant remark. But please remember that the September 11th families live it every day.
Yeah, he did 9/11, though. Good job, Joe. Great job. He did 9/11. That's how I remember the fallen. Shame on that guy. He's just an autopilot, you see. He doesn't care. But who called us suckers and losers and stuff like that? Yeah, remind me.
Yeah.
The last story I got to get to, Mark, John Kirby hit reply all. So John Kirby must have had an email for something asking about veterans, and he dismissed the concern of military veterans critical of the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, writing in response to Fox News digital press inquiry that there's no use weighing in on the veterans' views. But he hit reply all, so the veterans they got that email. Again, who called our service members suckers and losers again? Is it Trump or is it this administration? Email chain accidentally sent to Fox News showed the White House spokesman saying not to respond to veterans who criticize the Afghanistan withdrawal. That's the world we're living in. That's this administration. Mark, we actually pretty much got to everything on the board here. Widespread problems with mail. I mean, we're going to be covering that in the weeks moving forward. But
let's talk about Joe. I want to close with something that we haven't discussed actually. This is a little bit local politics. All politics are local, right?
Yes.
Watching, we received a video over the weekend, or last couple of days actually, of an attack ad by Representative Rob Matzey from the 16th District from Beaver County. Rob's a good guy. I know Rob is a good guy, Democrat, but he's running against a guy from the center who we know, Mike Parrish. Mike's the Republican candidate in this race. The 16th District Rob represents consists of part of Beaver County, including the city of Aliquippa, Harmony and Hopewell, boroughs of Ambridge, Baden, Conway, East Rochester, Economy, Freedom, Monaca, Rochester, and South Heights, and parts of Allegheny County, including Leet Township and the borough of Leetsdale. So the video we got, Joe, in the last day or two was an attack ad on television of Rob Matzey attacking Mike Parrish on TV. Joe, to have an attack ad, that tells you one thing. That race is a lot closer. That race is a lot closer than Rob Matzey probably wants it to be.
Especially it being on TV, because that can't be cheap either.
Right. And Mike Parrish must have a fighter's chance in this race to unseat someone who is a longtime incumbent in the House of Representatives. So I think he's been in the House since 2008, Rob has. So it looks like this might be a little bit too close for comfort for him. So,
from what I understand,
best of luck to Mike Parrish.
From what I understand, Mike Parrish is really putting in the work. He's going door to door, and some of them 90-degree days. He was out there talking to people, pressing the flesh, doing all the right things. So, I like him.
Interesting.
I like Mike Parrish, and we know him personally. We call him probably Mr. Parrish, but good guy. I hope he gets elected, and not just because he's a Republican, because he's a good guy. We'll probably have an whole entire episode of our endorsements. So we have quite a few to get through, both in state and local elections and in the national House of Representatives, stuff like that. All right, Mark, we got less than a minute here for the big finish. What do you got before we wrap it up here? Thursday Night Football, too, don't forget.
Have a great weekend. Steelers travel to Denver on Sunday, 4:15 kickoff out there in the Rocky Mountains. How about Shannon Sharpe? If you haven't seen that one, do a quick Google search of Shannon Sharpe today and see what you come up with. Ryan, thank you for all your work. Our sponsors. Joe, great episode.
Ryan, what do you got?
Yeah, I do. I have something here, guys. I don't know if you guys seen this on X. A Philadelphia area bakery not far from where the debate was held the other night was selling special Trump and Kamala cookies during the election. These are the total sales so far. Remind you, this is the Philadelphia area. This is Blue County. Donald Trump's cookies, 4,228 sold. Kamala, 369.
No way, that little. That is terrible numbers. That election's over.
Yeah.
Buy cookies. Cookie Monster.
Hey.
All right.
Look to the cookie.
All right, we'll be back here on, what's today? Thursday. We'll be back here on Monday. Great Thursday night football game. Probably the only one of the year. Bills and Dolphins. Give me the Bills. Anyway, we'll be back here on Monday. Thinking Logically is the show. The station is 99.3 FM WBVP. We're here 5 to 6 p.m. every Monday and Thursday. See you on Monday.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP.